Welcome to the Determined Mom Show, the only marketing podcast dedicated to guiding mom CEOs into tranquility, wealth, and multiplying those precious moments. Welcome to episode 157 of the Determined Mom Show. Today, I want to talk to you about something that is coming up over and over and over again with my Google clients, with any website clients that I have, and just anyone that I come across in general who has either built their own website or had their website built by someone else, which means almost everyone. So this is a recurring thing. And every single time I come across it, I get a little bit frustrated because your website is not finished once the designer says it is. So if you have someone that has built your website and they say, okay, here's your website, it's all done, it's ready. That is not true. Unless that person is trained in search engine optimization, that is not true. I will put that little caveat in there because if they are at least aware of some minimal things that should be done when your website is finished, then they are not technically done. So what do they need to do? Why isn't it finished? So one thing is, and this is the main thing that I keep coming across in all of my meetings with clients, is that there is no sitemap submitted to Google Search Console. What is Google Search Console? Google Search Console is basically the database for Google search. And so you have the ability as a business owner to actually submit your site's information to Google, like directly submit it. So it's basically going around waiting for the Google bots to search your site. This is an absolutely crucial part of ranking on Google, and even just not even ranking, but just having Google know that your website is there. This is probably the number one most missed thing in web design. And it's super simple. It takes about 5 minutes, and there's no reason that you shouldn't be doing it. Or if your web designer can do it for you, have them do it, whatever, but it needs to be done. Even though you submit it once, after you make any major structural changes to your website, you're going to want to resubmit it again. That will ensure that, Google is aware of any additional pages, additional services, things like that you've added. Another thing is your website is not finished until all of your pages have the proper H1, H2, H3 designations on them. Your titles are optimized, and you also need to make sure that you have a meta description for each and every page on your website. What this is going to do is it's going to give Google the information about what your website how it should display on Google search. So if you search your website or search your brand name right now, you're going to see a little box pop up. And in that little box, you're going to see a little blurb about your website. In that blurb is where you can actually give Google the information that you want to show up there. This is a really, really important part because if you don't give it to them, they're just going to kind of pick some random stuff off of your website, and it might not be what you want it to be. And it also might be picking the same thing from your homepage for every single page on your website. So meta descriptions are another really important part of that. Another part is to make sure that your website is secure. And this is something that surprisingly, even in 2022, we are still seeing a lot of people with unsecure websites. And so you need to make sure that you have an SSL, which is when your website has an HTTPS beginning to it instead of an HTTP. That way, Google will know that, it's safe for people to visit this website. If you've ever visited a website without an HTTPS, you will see that Google may throw up a big white page that says, warning, this page is not secure. Would you like to proceed? And then you have to click at the bottom, on advanced and then proceed. And you're kind of warned, okay, proceed at your own risk. We don't really know what's going on this website. So that is a really important part because you don't want to be stuck being one of those people that have an unsecure website because Google is not even going to really acknowledge your website at that point. Finally, you need to make sure that your website is being backed up. This is another recurring problem that I see. And if anything were to happen to the database of your website, and this is especially true for WordPress sites, there needs to be a weekly, if not daily backup. If you don't make a lot of changes to your website, it's fine to have it like weekly or monthly or whatever. But if you make changes often, if you post new blog posts, you want to have either a daily or weekly backup for that. You also need to have anti-spam software. There's a lot of things that you need to make sure that are done and not just your website being designed. So if you are in any of these boats and you found yourself, not knowing what I'm talking about, not being familiar with any of the terms that I'm using, please definitely reach out to us and we can actually help you to get all of these things fixed on your website. So then that way you can be on your way to ranking. And just really, it's not necessarily about ranking these things. It's just about having a good quality website that has everything completed on it. I hope you have a wonderful week and we will see you soon. Thank you for listening to the Determined Mom Show. We appreciate you and we would love for you to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. This will help us reach as many other moms as we can. Don't forget to download your 10 things you should be doing to get more clients from Google Search Guide at rebrand.ly/Google10.